everybody. So I am hopping back on today to talk about the 7 magical things that can happen when you do the work, moved past stuck, overwhelmed, and lost, and redefine what is next in your career and what is possible in your career. So what's great is the first thing that you can happen is you gain confidence in yourself and your abilities. So once you start stepping into your flow, start really using your strengths and identifying your passions and interests, you really can step into your own and start owning you for everything and fully who you are. The second awesome thing that can happen is you start showing up fully in your relationships and to the people around you. I know that when I was feeling lost, overwhelmed, really unhappy in my career and my job, I was winding up on my roommate's bedroom floor, probably 2 times a week, just in tears, sobbing. And I quickly realized it was not how I was wanting to show up. I also, was complaining all the time, happy hours with coworkers just turned into complaint sessions. And I slowly started realizing this was not how I wanted to live my life. Something was wrong, something needed to change. And the second I started doing the work to redefine my path and start changing what I was doing, I now have this sense of purpose and direction to where I no longer feel that just utter overwhelm and need to just complain and burst all my feelings to everybody around me. Instead, I get to show up for them and their problems, which makes me a lot happier. The third thing that can happen is you get really energized and excited to make it happen. So once you redefine your path, you get a really crystal clear vision of what you're wanting in the future in your career. There is no plan B. The beautiful thing is you might not know how to make it happen, and there might be some curveballs and different things you have to do along the way. Again, journeys are never straight, they're never linear. But there's this new excitement and energy that is just pulling you towards this future. So suddenly it becomes, I just have to make this moment now work. And instead it becomes, oh no, I'm working towards this thing in the future. I'm really excited about it. So it's okay, whatever I have to do now, that's great. Which leads me into my fourth thing is you're able to make clearer and more precise decisions. So what happens when you clearly know where you're wanting to going, when you're defined what you're wanting and needing in your life, when you know what you want, you're able to make decisions that will help lead you there. You're able to ask yourself, does this decision take me closer to where I want to be or further away from where I want to be? And that right there, that's your answer. And it becomes as simple as that. And the problem is when you don't know, if you don't like where you're going, or if you don't know where you're going or wanting to go, those decisions become really, really, really tough and hard to make. Number 5 is suddenly you're gladly willing to make sacrifices for your work. So something that really frustrated me was I knew I was working under my potential or underneath my potential. I wasn't living fully up to it in my job and career. And this was happening because I was unclear about where I was going. I didn't know what I wanted to be doing and I wasn't happy. So I kept a lot of the energy to myself because my job wasn't filling me back up again. So I needed the extra energy. I had to reserve so much of it in order to help me get through the day. But what happens is when you know what you want and you find work that really lights you up inside, that you love, that you're excited about, suddenly the process becomes energizing and you no longer have to reserve your energy, and suddenly you're able to use your strengths and your skill sets to 120%, which feels awesome and amazing because suddenly you're not limiting yourself. You're not having to limit yourself. You're also so much more willing to make sacrifices or spend extra time on things because it energizes you, it excites you, and it fills you back up again. And so the 7th magical thing that can happen is you create a new network that inspires you. So when we're on the wrong path, when we're kind of in a career, chasing a career, doing something that doesn't line up with us, when our work isn't what we want, oftentimes we're also surrounded by a lot of people who aren't filling us back up again. It's not necessarily the network that we want and that we need. And honestly, the reality is oftentimes it's just a network you've outgrown. It's not that you don't love these people. It's not that they're not great people, but you've kind of reached your cap. You've reached your potential in this group. So in order to level up, in order to feel like you're growing, to feel like you're moving towards something, when you redefine your career and what you're wanting in this journey, you're able to suddenly start pulling in people from all over the place and building this new network up, and it's exciting. I know something that's happened for me this year is suddenly like my network has exploded. I went from, a pretty small, close-knit network that was actually making me feel really stuck and limited, and the scarcity was also really prevalent, to suddenly connecting to people all over the world this year, which is actually the one beautiful thing about COVID is, the internet and Zoom has made all of these networks and things possible. So you're able to grow this network and reach out to all these people and start building all of these relationships that, again, fuel you back up and make you excited. The seventh thing, the magical thing that happens, is you start enjoying the journey. My therapist, and a phrase that I've always heard is hold the vision, trust the process. And I always saw it, and I always knew something that I needed to work on was trusting the process. And it's something I still to this day struggle with. But the process is even harder when you don't have a vision, or you no longer enjoy the vision that you're working towards, or you no longer want the vision that you're working towards. When you have this vision of what your career and what your work could be, and you're on that path and building it and making it happen and making decisions that are moving you slower and slower and closer to that destination, you start enjoying the process a little bit more and the journey that it takes to get you there. It becomes easier to remind yourself that even the things that you hate in your day, even the things that drive you up the wall, all of those are many steps that are helping you grow towards something you want. It doesn't mean the journey's easier. It just means you're able to put it in perspective and be grateful for it. When you're not doing work that you love, it's really, really hard to be grateful for the struggles and tribulations you go through. So those are the 7 magical things that can happen when you redefine your career path. So again, those are gain confidence in yourself and your abilities, show up fully and happy in your relationships, you feel energized and excited to make it happen, you make clearer and more precise decisions, you are gladly willing to make sacrifices for your work, you create a new network that inspires you, and you also enjoy the journey. So if you're in a place right now where you are feeling stuck, lost, don't know what's next in your career, you know something needs to change, you don't quite know what, it could be something small, it could be something big, let's chat. So I do offer free 30-minute clarity calls. I would love to talk to you and learn more about what your goals are. What do you think is getting in your way and where you are at right now? And once I learn all that, we can talk about what might be the next right steps for you to help you move forward in your career and or your business. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys, and I look forward to seeing you Wednesday. Bye.